What's going on, everybody? I have some new stuff to introduce to everyone. If you have me on Instagram and all the other good stuff, then you've probably seen it already, but I'm just gonna jump right into it. Just picked up a new car not too long ago. Done a lot of work to it already, and this is my new daily driver. So here we have a 1998 Acura Integra RS. As you can already see, this thing is like just mind-blowing. I saw this car on Facebook. It just was really something special to me to see Integra in this kind of condition. And man, I tell you, like, tasteful mods all the way around. I'm gonna give you guys a quick overview of the car, and we're gonna go over what I've done so far. So looks a little bit different from when I purchased it in terms of paint, wheels, everything like that is all the same from when I bought it. So this is a bikini blue paint from Chrysler, I believe. Said it was on the new Jeeps. So we have the Circuit Performance 16-inch wheels. I believe these are 16x7. It's a 205/50/16 tire from Yokohama. JDM front end. As you can probably see, peeking through the windows there is the Recaro seats from a DC5 Type S. These were fabricated to fit into the Integra seat rail. Excellent condition. The only thing wrong with these is a little bit of wear right here. But other than that, these things are like immaculate. I just had to clean some stains off of them and they are in great shape. Stock steering wheel for now. Have a new steering wheel on the way. Here is the center console. So I added in this radio. It's Android Auto wireless. It's Android radio. All sorts of good stuff there. Climate control is now hooked back up. I am working on AC and heat next. Shift boot with this plate that I fabricated to get a shift boot to fit in a automatic console. So I need to get a collar next to just kind of suck that up right there. But got the Type R shift knob. I added in these floor mats with the red stitching just to kind of flow with the theme we have going on here. Black door panels, black everything else. We have the Innovate wideband. This is just standalone. It's not wired in for data logging or anything like that. Bosch analog boost gauge. And still have the clock and stuff like that. So come to the back here, you guys probably already noticed, we have the rear seat delete here. This was custom upholstered and built by the previous owner, along with the cantilever suspension. This was also built by the previous owner. QA1 coilovers, JDM taillights. These actually came off of my Integra race car. This had the USDM taillights. I put those on the race car because that one don't need to be fancy. So yeah, JDM taillights really kind of set off the rear of the car. And that's pretty much it for the rear. I just added in underneath here, I put the stock tools, stock spare tire from the old Integra, or the other Integra I've been hanging on to for quite some time now. Real quick, we'll go over the front suspension. It is KYB shocks. Looks like a yellow progressive style spring of some sort if you peek on in there. Stock brakes, stock rotors, stock calipers. Moving on to the engine. This is a B20. This is the P8R, so P8R head. It's the better of the B20s. It came with a B18, but the previous owner installed this engine with the turbo kit and everything bolted on. So got the catch can over here, 10 AN, battery over there, got the tile blow-off valve, tile wastegate. This is actually a Blox, it's a Blox slim fan. I don't know what brand radiator this is, but it looks like a 3-core, you know, half-size radiator. I put the G Plus cap on here because it had a 1.1 bar. I like the 1.3 bar cap. LS gearbox, has sport mounts, Edelbrock Victor X, Edelbrock throttle body. Looks like a kind of like an AEM fuel rail. These are the Bosch injectors. I think they're 1000cc Bosch injectors. This is on 93 pump gas. Grams, gauge, I'm guessing that's just a generic fuel pressure regulator there. AEM, fuel filter. So this car came in amazing condition. Previous owner did an excellent job on the build. I came in, kind of continued on with completing the build, and it's still nowhere near where I want it to be, but we're looking pretty good. So I bought the car about a month ago. We were coming home from a race and I was just scrolling through Facebook and happened to see this. So I've been looking at building another Integra lately, and I just want to build a badass street car that, you know, can take you anywhere and just be amazing driving experience. So you guys know I have the Integra race car. It's not much of a street car anymore. It doesn't drive nice. It's just very aggressive, rough, a lot of horsepower. So it's not suitable for street use, but I wanted to kind of step back a little bit, put that car aside and let it do what it has to do on the track and just build something else for the street. And that's kind of a amazing platform I have here to start from. So I have the list here of everything I've done since I received the car, and I'm just gonna go over it with you guys real quick. So first thing I did, the rear cargo light in the back here, I had that from the old car just sitting in a box, wired it in. Looks like the wires were cut and missing, so I just kind of spliced them in, put an LED bulb back there, so got some lighting in the rear when you want to access something at night. Fixed the carpet inside the car. So the carpet in the car was very bunched up. I don't know if this was a pre-molded carpet, but there is so much bunching all over the floor here. So I just put some relief cuts in and kind of tucked away all the excess. There was a lot of excess just bunched up under the dash there. So I fixed all of that, got the carpet as good as I can. I probably will maybe replace it one day with a molded one, but it is in like brand new condition, the carpet, so it must have been installed, you know, within the past couple of years. So rewire the radiator fan is another thing I did. So it was just wired into ignition switch, so as soon as you turn the car on, the fan was already on. So driving on the way home, I noticed the temperature needle wasn't even moving, and that's not good. So premature wear on all the bearings and everything, if the car's too cold. So rewired the fan to the fan control output on the ECU. So now that is being controlled by the ECU and set to my parameters. LED reverse lights, so stupid, not really important, but when I changed over all this, got LED reverse light bulbs and whatnot. Also, I mentioned that I added these on, so that's another thing I did. The tail lights. Fixed the passenger key lock. Key lock was just completely disconnected and it was missing the rod to link in with the assembly. So you turn the key, nothing happens. I made my own little rod there and now it's working. Floor mats, I mentioned that already. Added the floor mats in the car. Oh, this side's locked. I added those floor mats in the car with the red stitching along with the shift boot to just kind of go with the flow of the interior. Another thing I had to change was the wiper switch. The windshield wiper switch wasn't working, so I ordered one online, swapped that out right away. It was one of the first things I did. I changed all the interior lighting, so we have LED up in the dome, all LED throughout, and obviously we have a beautiful radio here that I installed. That is the Enonin. I didn't want to go with a name brand. I wanted to try something different for a change. I see really good Amazon reviews and all sorts of stuff on these off-brands, so I decided to give this one a chance. It's been great so far. I don't have door speakers in yet. I'm waiting on my adapters to come for those, so I'm putting 6.5 Neos in the doors. I don't know if the tweeters work or not, so I can't vouch for it for sound quality yet, but it does have a DSP built in and all sorts of stuff. But so far, just using the radio and Android Auto and navigation, it's been great. It's crazy having that in a car like this. So moving up back into the engine bay, another thing I did was this catch can. So this had the battery tray catch can from, I forgot the name of the company, can't think of it right now, but it fit factory in the battery tray here. Had 4 ports, so 2 go into the bottom of the block, 2 go into the valve cover. The battery was just sitting on the back floor with some wires running back there, and it wasn't mounted in any sort of way. So to get that off of the floor and in a secure position, I just went ahead and added it back in here. This was also rerouted and it was mounted under the dash, and I wanted to add AC back along with clean up the wiring in the car. So that was another thing I really had to clean up, was this and some of the wiring up underneath there. This does have a Rye wire mil-spec tucked harness, which is why it looks relatively clean in here. So I went ahead and repaired all the wiring, rewired this with some thicker gauge, rewired the battery, and believe it or not, this thing had way more juice when I was done. It did not hesitate once to fire up. So voltage is excellent now, charging is excellent, it's getting way more charge than it was, so had to fix that right away. Another thing, I had to repair the blow-off valve. The blow-off valve seemed like it was stuck shut. The car had really bad turbo flutter, not good. I don't think this is an anti-surge turbo, it's Turbonetics. I'm not too sure what it is, small frame turbo. Yeah, so I purchased a proper spring for this vacuum that this engine pulls. So now this thing works phenomenal. It's the same blow-off valve I have on the race car and works great now. Another thing I did was turn the boost down. I don't know what the setup is on this engine. It was pushing about 14 pounds of boost. It had the large blue spring for this tile wastegate. So I wanted to turn the boost down, make it safe and reliable. I just threw a spring I had sitting around the shop, so it's at 5 pounds now. I'm definitely going to go up a little more than that. That's just, it really fell on its face with that spring in there. So I'd like to be somewhere around 8 pounds just to be safe and put a lot of miles on it while I build up the other engine on the side. So the last couple things I did were just a simple oil change. I put 10W30 in the car, new filter, and I repaired the rear. We repaired the rear suspension. So granted, came out great, looks great for the person who fabricated this, but it was like bottoming out really bad. It was just a really rough ride. I've tried adjusting the dampening and everything. It was just so, it was either really rough or really bouncy or a little of both. And I noticed that this coil over here was almost bottoming out and it was riding the bump stop for the most part. That one there had a little bit of travel left, so we had to reconfigure and set up the whole suspension system in the back here. I'm still making minor tweaks here and there, but it's very similar to what we have on our prototype race cars. So setting that up was sort of a breeze, despite the fact that some little bit of measurements here and there were off. So we compensated for that, and now this thing rides like a Cadillac. And we lifted the front of the car up, so lifted the whole car up actually. The wheels were kind of tucking up under the fenders and it was rubbing kind of bad, so did lift the car up about 1 inch. Last but not least, I did an alignment. So did a race alignment in the shop. The camber is way off, so unfortunately the only way to fix that is to throw some camber control arms in here, which is on the list. So I got a really long list of stuff that I'm doing to this car. There are, I'll tell you right now, there are 27 items and counting that are getting added to this list, and so far we have completed 20. So there was almost 50 things on this list when I got the car, and we're slowly working our way down. It's just an amazing car now. We just fixed the suspension yesterday, so I barely have any hours on the car after fixing it, but I can tell you already, this thing rides amazing now. So I really enjoy this car. This is what I've always wanted out of a street car. So that is all. I just want to introduce you guys to the car. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it on my Instagram, my Facebook, and yeah, so maybe we get this in the race car side by side. I have a couple photos already of them meeting, and it's an amazing car so far, and hopefully we can continue here soon and make it even better. So I know probably the #1 video by now on my channel is me talking about turbo wing automatic Hondas, and it's a Q&A video I did on the Integra years ago, and hopefully I retained some of those followers, so it kind of translates over to this. So I am doing some audio stuff as well in the car, just minor, nothing crazy overkill. Other than that, hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to see updates on the car and more videos like this, please throw a thumbs up.